Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, the show where we discuss the latest cryptocurrency news and introduce you to the pioneers and the founders of the space. Today, I'm very kindly joined by a previous guest of ours, Nick from Assista. Nick, thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
Hey, great to join. Doing well. Amazing day, amazing weather in UK, and amazing news just came out yesterday about our round. So everything is good.
Awesome, man. I think we'll crack into the good news that came yesterday. But first, for perhaps those that weren't here in the last live stream that we did together, if we could go into some background of Assista and also your career into Web3, Nick, that would be great.
Yeah. So a couple of words. I used to start my career in IT tech as in consulting. We're building R&D teams, mostly in IoT and AI stack, like directions. It was pretty cool, pretty big projects, like from funk and all of this. I used to grow up in Ukraine. We have a lot of cool guys, smart guys who are developing really amazing products. But like they're not show off themselves, like it's usually happening that developers in Ukraine working on something, building something, but like in fact, like the beneficiaries of this process is usually people from Western world. That's pretty my start. Then I switched to Web3 space because I just started investing my personal money. I earning, losing money, and I thought like, okay, if I would be in this space, I would be making more smarter decision about my investments, which is not all the time true because like everyone has this like form of thought and like have the same emotion. Like we all the humans, like no matter what are our backgrounds and so on. So experience comes over the time, but not because you just like working on some product. Then in 2020, 2022, I was a co-founder of AI startup. We were automating sales and design function for small, medium businesses, which was pretty cool. So we established working business, we start generating revenue. So it wasn't a venture story. But then I sold a portion of the company. I got stipend from National Bank of Ukraine to study at Cambridge Uni. I moved to Cambridge, really enjoying the first year here. As like in your early 30s, if you can come back to student life, it's pretty amazing experience. And
winning.
And right yeah. And like right then I started thinking like, okay, what I can do on intersection of two technologies that I really like and feel internal curiosity. It's Web3 and AI. And that's how I started building Assista. Initially, it was very pragmatic way how to automate developing relationship support for big protocols, because I used to be head of ecosystem growth. I also was responsible for developer onboarding, support, tech documentation, many other things. And that's how, like I know what can be fixed on Web3 side. And I know also how to build the technologies that can fix it. We build the product, we get to first 100K ARR in 3-4 months after the launch. And after that, like we are on a bull market. So we start thinking like how we can scale it and how we can use crypto incentives to make the platform and make the ecosystem really big. And that's where we found that we built amazing infrastructure, and this infrastructure can be provided by to other people, to other communities, to launch their own custom AI agents and small language models to automate the, like different use cases, different business tasks. That's where we are right now. So we're building a network of community-owned small language models, which owned by community. So anyone who contribute data to these models, they become a co-owner of these models, and they can benefit from the value created by AI.
Yeah, amazing, Nick. And I just wanted to touch upon how we met. Obviously, you said you came to Cambridge, but then you got really involved within the UK crypto community, especially amongst the Solana. Shout out Super Teams UK. But you focus a lot on networking and going to these events as well. How has that been crucial to the progression of Assista?
Yeah, I would say like it was very important because first of all, I'm not local guy, and like if you're not local and if you're not in a community, you already have lower and like worse starting position, let's say. So for me, first year was definitely about getting into community, getting to know people, who is working on what, like where I can give my expertise and help someone, or where I need some support from others. And Super Team UK is like basically the place where I got a lot of support. I also trying to give back to community, also support some other founders if they're asking me. But that's like very valuable community. Anyone who is watching us and considering to join some community, think about Super Team UK.
Agreed. Awesome, man. But yeah, let's dive into it then. There was some good news for Assista yesterday. Do you want to let everyone listening know what was raised and what the announcement was?
Yeah. So yesterday we announced our pre-seed round at 25 million valuation. We raised 1.7 million with amazing angels from Zero Gravity, ICER, Bagel Labs, Swissborg, and a couple other guys, as well as Web3.com, Outlier Ventures, Moonhill Capital, Contango, and a couple other guys from the space. So I really appreciate everyone who supported us from VC side, but also I appreciate a lot of community effort which was involved in this process. And right now we're just starting. We're gonna have we have on board Lucid Drakes, we have Solana Insiders, so there would be a lot of work specifically into Web3 community with the targeting Solana ecosystem initially. But then we're going to be, of course, scaling to the broader Web3 and also Web2 space as well.
Amazing. And what will these funds go towards helping Assista progress now as well? And what's the next steps for the company?
Yeah, so it's like right now we are scaling a team. So for me, it's important to bring smarter guys than I am onto the board and like start working with them and start scaling the initial vision and directions that I had by giving, more context, more interesting people, more interesting use cases, developing platform, and many other things. So right now we're scaling a team, getting more developers, getting more C-level roles. So I'm looking for AI lead. If anyone is watching, you're welcome to DM me. I'm looking for ecosystem lead. We already have one guy who gonna most likely lead this direction for us. And we have a couple other roles like Python developers, designers, front-end developers who we need, because the scope of work is like just massive. We're going to release shortly AI Lab, which is a no-code builder for anyone to launch their own small language model or AI agent, even if you don't have any engineering skills or any deep Web3 knowledge. So we want to hide all the tech complexity from the platform and give people just clicker, press several buttons, launch your use case, create something awesome, and we will help you to monetize it. So that's the purpose and that's the goal, or that's the targets that we have for next 1-2 quarters.
Amazing. And for everyone listening right now that perhaps does not understand, what is DeAI? DeAI.
Yeah. So it's like decentralized AI is basically about how to not allow big tech companies to monopolize the space. And it's quite important from different perspectives. Like first, it's of course about GPU, CPU, like about compute, because right now the market is very limited. So it's like if you don't have, 5-10 million on GPUs to train your models, you would not get anything from big tech guys like AWS or other providers. And with decentralized AI, initial idea was, we can organize a community effort, maybe GPUs, CPUs from other people, and we can provide this as as organized network for people and organization who wants to build their use cases, but they don't have, let's say, 10 million on their bank account. And that is the promise of DePIN, decentralized physical infrastructure. But then what we are doing, we're decentralizing ownership over the data set, because if you have decentralized physical infrastructures, then the question where to take the data sets and who owns the data set. And we see that most of these big tech guys, they basically scrub the internet, took all the data that belongs to humanity, but then they saying hey, $20 from you, $100 from you, you own us something. And there is no any mechanism how me, you, and anyone else can effectively check, was my data actually used for this AI? And if this AI is, earning billions per year, maybe I can get, $100, maybe $200, $1,000, depends how much my data was used. And we're trying to give this ability for people, for anyone, to contribute data to domain-specific model. And after that, if this model becomes successful, it earns money, it's used by businesses or other individuals, you can get some portion of rewards or revenue generated by this model. So that's pretty. So we decentralize in ownership of the small language models, while there are a lot of successful companies right now who are decentralizing hardware part, like GPU, CPU, cloud.
Yeah. Awesome, Nick. And we see AI becoming more prominent in Web3, but where do you see the significant adoption coming from? Is that through trading, automation, support? Where do you think the key adoption will be for AI?
Yeah, so AI is not new thing. Even AI agents is not as new things that most people are thinking about. Just with introducing GPT, ChatGPT, and a couple other conversational chatbots, people just get to know about AI and get excited about it. But so, for example, within Web3 or fintech space, like it's trading bots, it's all about AI, like trading strategy, how one gonna be trading against another and so on. So it's already there. The question is where we can have something more smarter and more flexible in terms of the use cases. So right now we started with developer copilots, because we see that there is a gap in consumer vertical in Web3. So there is a lot of infrastructure projects, but there are just a few of consumer successful projects. Why? Because the value is accumulated on layer 1, layer 2s, and it's not going to application layer. Why? Because you need to spend a lot of time, you need to run a lot of tests, you need to raise money, and it's not like a trivial task to get people to work on this application. So what we're trying to achieve, we're building these small language models specifically designed to support developers or anyone who wants to build application on specific ecosystem, Solana, Near, Ethereum, Optimism, anyone actually. And after that, you can go to any ecosystem and launch your application in a couple of minutes, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30, maybe 1 hour, by using this copilot and advisor. And in that way, the cost of creation application would be super low. Anyone can do it in, in 1 or 2 hours. It doesn't cost you anything. But then if the application get 50, 100, maybe 200 people who are using it, for many people, if this application will be generating them, I don't know, even $50 per month, it's a huge money. In many countries in the world, people are living for this money whole months. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to give ability anyone to create their own applications and organize a small community around this application who are going to be using, who are going to be paying, who are going to be benefiting from there. And every person actually also can contribute the data to the data set behind each application. So this application would be more accurate, more precise in the response to support, and there would be a lot of additional value created in the process.
And is this why you believe that AI needs Web3?
I think AI needs Web3 same way as Web3 needs AI. It's also pretty cool because we have the situations that probably, I don't know, maybe 40% or 50% of the current narrative, Web3 narrative, it looks like depend AI related topics, which means that there is a lot of expectation on the market and people are excited about this, which is cool because it brings a lot of new people who can bring their creative ideas and build something valuable. But also in more pragmatic way, I think Web3 AI intersection is about payment rails. It's a huge opportunity because AI doesn't have a bank account. AI model cannot go and buy something, order with dollars or euros or whatever, pounds. While if we're talking about wallet and crypto, it's very easy. Just attach to AI agent or AI model some crypto, and after that, it would be operating inside of any ecosystem, any internet, by interacting with other users, with other AI agents, with other AI models. And I believe that's a huge opportunity, and that's why AI or Web3, AI needs Web3, but also Web3 needs AI as well.
Awesome, Nick. And let's talk about small language models and how they're different from large language models as well. And if you could give us a definition here, because it's more on the technical side, but I'd like to understand the difference between the two and why you're focusing on small language models.
Yeah, so it's like from small language models, it's basically models which are 10 up to 100 times smaller than large language models in terms of the data set, parameters that are included in the data set. Second, it's they can be more accurate and they more adaptable to be domain specific or business function specific. So if you will take large language model, you can think about it as an average person that mirroring all the average data of the internet. And like, and if you will go to internet, there is like a whole ton of bullshit information, and there like with this like theories of that there is some reptiles, government, and so on, and also there is a ton of valuable information. And by the end of the day, large language model is a mix of this, so it's averagely good and bad for everything, but not good enough for specific tasks. So with small language models, we can fix it. We improving the accuracy of the model. We're giving them high level of professionally, and also they can serve business specific tasks much better in that way. So the end user doesn't feel that, you know, like there is some stupid model or stupid thing on other side of the mirror, but it feels that, oh, I'm interacting with really smart model or assistant that can replace or improve the efficiency of humans as well.
Amazing, man. And how do you track the data ownership though?
Yeah, so it's like we start actually our journey with participation in many hackathons. We won several hackathons. Initially, we were in, you know, like among the finalists. Then we, you know, like start winning hackathons. It was at East Denver. It was at latest crypto AI hackathon from Binance Labs and OKX. It's like we organically were developing something that we think that was needed for our product. And by the end of the day, we build data provenance protocol. So data provenance protocol help us to validate and track who, when, and how modified the model data set. We link in this information with the wallet, with the user's data. And after that, if this data is like, first of all, we are rewarding these users immediately with some tokens, but also in the long term, we're going to provide them ownership or sharing of the revenue of this model based on like, was your data used to provide response to other user, to serve other requests? And if it creates additional value, you should be able to get fair rewards, not only once when you just feed it data, because otherwise it would be the same as data laborers, low wage, you know, like workers. But in the long term, we want to provide ownership over the data set and over the models as a ground layer of like everything what we're building.
Yeah. Awesome. And you mentioned hackathons there. I've been to a few Solana hackathons and an Ethereum hackathon. But what does a hackathon entail, and why is it good for the ecosystem?
Yeah, like first of all, it's organized event where you can find a lot of people who also building something in the space. You can effectively and really in fast this like 2-3 days environment meet people, meet advisors, meet mentors, meet investors, and present your idea, and also train your skills of getting it from idea stage to some early stage prototype, which is highly valuable because you see how other people are performing in your team. Can you rely on these people? Can you present it in a way that everyone understands? And is there a way that you can get funding pretty fast? So it's like kind of incubator where you can test and play with different ideas. So for each ecosystem, it's highly valuable because it attracts developers, it attracts creative people who want to create something. And I think we're going to be using a lot of this mechanics for us as well, because right now we are scaling ecosystem and we need to bring first some people who are already building something that they would be deploying and building with us. But also I want to remove the tech complexity, and I want to make the access to our platform as democratized as possible. We're trying to not use anything too tech heavy. We're trying to communicate it that like anyone who will use a platform, he is a creator, not a developer. Because by the end of the day, all what you need is some data. And like if you're working in marketing, it can be some marketing research, user personas, it can be some statistics data, or maybe information from your ad campaign, you know, like on specific market or in specific niche. If you're working on product development, it can be something about your product releases and so on. So it's like whatever you're doing, there is some data connected or to this specific area, and we're trying to empower anyone to monetize this data in AI era.
And can community small language models compete with the big tech large language models here as well?
Yeah, 100%. Like, so it's very funny. Like 2 or 3 days ago, just before closing the round, I had a conversation with one of our angel investors who shared with me like, hey Nick, like I already signed everything, like I just want to share with you how I make a decision. And he shared with me 8 screenshots, and like half of the screenshots were from OpenAI's ChatGPT environment, where he was asking some tech-related questions about different ecosystems, Solana, Optimism, and something like this. And then he showed me the same screenshots, but from our product, from our models. And it's like, it's dramatically different. Like we have very accurate, very precise response with code snippets, with very detailed step-by-step recommendation, what to do, what you can copy, how you can implement specific features. While on a ChatGPT interface, it shows that it's super high level, generic response that doesn't make any sense for you and doesn't create any value if you're trying to solve specific issue or you experience some challenges while building a product. So right now we understand that we are superior compared to anything that exists on the market for developer, copilot, or assistants. But also I understand that our approach is relevant for many other use cases. So our focus would be to get these use cases, new verticals on our platform, on our marketplace, and bring these people as creators and new AI entrepreneurs who would be building these categories on Assister.
Awesome, Nick. And where do you see the future for decentralized AI? What are some of the trends to look out for? I think let's look kind of short to medium term here in the next 1 to 3 years. What are some of the trends that are going to pop out, and what should the listeners be watching out for?
Yeah. So first of all, I believe that we are moving into multi-model and multi-agent future, where there would be, first of all, like people are still going to using Google search as a search engines, but these engines, they are basically focus on providing you responses or support based on someone's ad, like someone pay me. So if you're trying to solve your challenge issue or find something, you would not get something that is most relevant for you and is best for you, but like you will get something that other people want you to get. And it's like very biased way to get it.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that's how, like everything worked last probably 15, 20 years. And it's need to be changed. So how it's going to be changed? Like we're going to have this LLMs, but LLMs have 6-12 months ping. So if you're going and looking for solving something, you're not asking like, hey, give me a response or give me solutions that was relevant half year ago. You're trying to find something that can solve the problem right now, and it's relevant maybe 1 day, 2 days, one week. And I see that there would be a lot of small language models that would be highly precise and target to perform some specific tasks. And people, if they would have a choice, like, okay, I will go to Google, I will get some solution, but most likely it will be ad driven. So it's like someone affecting me. LLMs, I can find a solution for something that doesn't require time limits. And also I can have small language models where I will probably pay, I don't know, 1 cent, 2 cents, 10 cents, whatever. But I will get precise response for what I'm looking for and which would be relevant right now. And how we ensuring it, there would be a group of people, community around each application, each model that keeps the model data set up to date, because for them it's a small business. So that's what we built. I believe that except us, there would be like other teams, other platforms who would be targeting this opportunity, targeting this market. So each of these platforms, due to Web3 elements, they would be cross operatable. So it's like anyone would be able to search any models, any agents that exist in open web. The question is like which chain or like which brain to use. And like on these pictures that you're showing, we have user, we have autonomous agent. So I believe everyone in the like nearest future, we're gonna have our own assistant or agent who shouldn't be like super smart AGI, like this type of level assistant, but it should have gateway or access to open web to go and ask, is there a small language model, is there Google, is there a large language model, and solve the task. And it should have a balance. You see, like there is a Web3 wallet, there should be some balance on account of agents. So it should be able to go and act on your behalf, pay for services, pay to host something, pay to hire people if needed, pay to hire AI agent if needed. And I think that's the future that's going to happen with us.
Wow. Amazing. And Nick, what is the future for Assista, and how can everyone listening in get involved? Will there be potential for them to even invest? What's the best way for people to get involved with Assista?
Yeah, so right now, just like definitely follow us on Twitter, definitely follow us on, join our Discord. We already started incentivized testnet, which is right now live, so you can get some portion of synthetic token by contributing to ecosystem, by helping us to test different products, testing different user flows in our product. Right now, you can choose your role, like either model creator, data contributor, or data validator. And also there is like gamify mechanics around referrals, around some support for the ecosystem. But later on, we expect to do TGE later this year. We're also going to open AI Lab, which will give functionality for anyone to launch your own use cases. And by launching use cases, you would have ability to monetize them as well. Because if someone is querying, someone is using your model, you would get some portion of rewards and people would be paying it. And you can think about it as an app store, which only starting, like if you would know that app store going to be, like $286 billion industry, and you're there from the day one, you would definitely choose some niches and some application and models that you would be working on, and you will get successful business. So that's what happening on the sister side right now. So please join.
Awesome, Nick. So thank you for your time today. Anyone listening in, please make sure to go check out the website. Go give them a follow. The @ is Assista, so it's Assista with a double R on the end. Make sure to go give them a follow. We'll be hearing from Nick more in the future as well. As the year goes on, there's going to be lots of advancements with Assista, so I'm keeping an eye on it. You guys should too. Nick, thank you so much for coming on today, and everyone listening in as well. Thanks for joining. We will be going live again tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Have an amazing day. Nick, sign off.
Woo! Great chat. Thanks, man.
Bye, guys. Take care.